Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Drop, and this is my performance review of the Way of Wade Shadow 5. So this shoe is going for 120 bucks. So if you guys do want to cop, try to leave the link in the description box. This Liberty colorway is actually very sick. But yeah, the Shadow 5 is a shoe that's kind of geared towards outdoor use as well, which of course is a good thing. I feel like most companies, right, they need to make more durable shoes, you know, especially with Nike. They've been giving us like soft nub tractions for the past couple years, which is not good, especially if you're playing on the outdoor court. But I feel like most people in America play on indoor courts anyway. Not a huge deal, but there's still a good amount of people that play on the outdoor court, right? So anyways, again, links will be in the description box, but let's get it started right off with the Tracciones. And we have lines, which is pretty interesting, right? So we have lines going parallel to the actual shoe, and then in the heel and also in the forefoot, kind of like at the edges, it's going perpendicular. We got some more lines going perpendicular. We got a thicker line here in the forefoot. Also where the big toe is, we have a little bit more like a wavy line pattern, and also says Shadow 5 here in the heel in case you forget what shoe it is, I guess, right? So how's the traction? So you do need to break it in a little bit. I needed to break it in for a couple of days actually. It wasn't amazing when I first had it, you know. For the first couple of days I was like, it's not terrible, it's not amazing either, but once I started to break it in and I was also playing on a clean court, the traction is actually pretty dang nice. There's a nice high-pitched squeak as well, which was nice. I mean, obviously squeak has nothing to do with performance, but it's nice to have. I don't know why, I just like it, you know, and I feel like most of you guys do as well. But yeah, if you're playing on a clean court, you have really good solid bites, right? And you're gonna be stopping pretty much on a dime, which was awesome. But if you are playing on a dusty court, I feel like this shoe was picking up a little bit of dust, right? It wasn't terrible, but I was playing with like the All City 12, also with the AE1, and obviously those are really good performers for dusty courts as well. It was picking up a little bit more dust than those shoes, right? It wasn't terrible as in like, you know, I wasn't sliding around like crazy, but it slid around a little bit more than those shoes. And also I needed to wipe a little bit more frequently, right? But it's not a terribly hard wipe. You just do a slight easy wipe and you're good to go. It's just you need to wipe a little bit more often, which I didn't really mind all too much, you know what I mean? So dust performance, obviously not the best, but if you don't mind wiping too much, then you should be fine playing on a dusty court with the Shadow 5s. Just don't let too much dust build up, right? And also if you're playing on an outdoor court, you should be fine, right? The rubber is very hard. As far as the depth goes, it doesn't look that deep as far as the grooves go, you know what I mean? So that kind of worries me, but the rubber is hard, and I guess you do have a good amount of surface area. So and obviously the Shadow 5 is a shoe that's made for outdoor use, so you should be fine on an outdoor court with this outsole, right? So overall traction, I had a really good time. You know, it wasn't terrible. I mean, it was kind of annoying because I did have to wipe pretty frequently because, you know, I was switching from the AE1 and also the AC12, which I was testing as well at the time. And now I was switching to the Shadow 5 and I had to wipe a little bit more. But again, it wasn't super annoying. So I wish the dust performance was a little bit better, right? And now moving on to the heel to toe transition. Overall, pretty dang smooth, right? So here in the heel, we have a nice rounded shape, and also the rubber coming up, caging the back of the shoe. Look at that. But we do have a good amount of compression here in the heel, which is very soft. And then here in the forefoot, we have a nice curved shape and a good amount of forefoot flex, right? But it's not super duper flexible, right? For example, in like the Shockwave 5 Pro, this is a look at that, super flexible shoe. It's very easy to flex, but here in the Shadow 5, it's a little bit more stiff, right? Which it's not a good thing or a bad thing. It's just all on preference if you like a softer or stiffer sole. But here in the forefoot, it's still able to flex a lot, but it's not as easy to flex, you know what I mean? So there's that. And also we have a kind of like a midfoot shank plate on the bottom of the shoe, and also I believe there is a midfoot shank plate right underneath your foot as well, right? If you remove the insole. So torsion support is good too. So overall heel to toe transition does feel pretty dang smooth. And now moving on to the cushioning setup. The cushioning setup is pretty nice, right? So since it is a shoe made for outdoor courts, you need good impact protection, especially if you're doing hard heel strikes, right? So we have a full-length Boom insole, right? So Boom is super duper nice. It's very soft. It has a nice little bounce as well, but it's an insole in this shoe, so it's not that nice, you know what I mean? You can feel the compression a little bit underneath your foot, but it's not absolutely amazing. But also we have a Cloud Plus foam, right? So as you guys can see, from the actual midsole, this is all Cloud Plus. And we have a good amount of compression. It's actually very soft. It's not super bouncy, you know what I mean? It's more just soft. So if you're doing heel strikes, you're gonna be good to go. Your feet are not gonna hurt. The one thing that I did notice, however, switching from like the AE1 and also the AC12, is the court feel is not as good as those shoes, right? The court feel in the AE1 is really good, like one of the best that you can get. The Shadow 5, although it's not terrible for court feel, it definitely does feel higher up off the ground, which again makes sense because if you're gearing or making a shoe for outdoor use, you need good impact protection. So you need a lot of compression, and also you need a thicker midsole. So that definitely does make sense. Impact protection, you're gonna be good to go. You're gonna be covered. Also, step-in comfort is nice, right? So underneath the boom, you can see that they're using a soft mesh strobe board. You can easily see the foam underneath the strobe board, right? And also, if you press it with your finger, it's actually quite soft here in the heel and also in the forefoot. Obviously, it's not as soft as like the full-length boom that's found in the AC12. The AC12, you know, you have full-length boom and also a soft mesh strobe board. However, the Shadow 5 is still super duper nice for cushion, right? So step-in comfort is still really nice. You have the boom insole, and then underneath that, the soft mesh strobe board, and also you can feel the Cloud Plus midsole. So you have a nice compression right underneath the foot. It's soft, and then you also have nice compression from the actual midsole. So the cushioning setup is really nice, right? I guess the only thing is that if you're looking for really good court feel, this isn't the best option, but for most people, it checks off the list, you know what I mean? Good step-in comfort. I guess it's not super bouncy, however, which kind of sucks, but that's okay. And then you have nice compression, impact protections covered. So overall, I really like the cushioning setup. And now moving on to the upper. So we have like this textile material, right? It feels really nice actually, you know, especially comparing to the AC12. This shoe is $30 cheaper, and I definitely like this material better. So here in the toe box, we have that, and then around that, we have a very thin layer of fuse, right? Going around that, also where the eyelets are as well. And obviously that's there to improve the durability and support of the material as well. It stays extremely thin here in the midfoot area. And also we have this one eyelet. You know, it's kind of like a strap that goes all the way down into the upper, right? Here on the lateral and also on the medial side of the shoe. And then for the tongue, we have a mesh material. Look at that. It's a very thin mesh material, has good ventilation. And then here on top of the tongue, we have a very minimal padding as well. It's also like a half booty construction tongue a little bit. It's like an inner booty that goes underneath this textile material, giving you a better overall one-to-one fit. And also here in the ankle area, here on the sides of the shoe, there's no padding at all. And then here in the back of the shoes where your Achilles is, there's a little bit of padding. So overall, it's a super minimal feeling shoe, but it conforms to your foot very well, right? And feels really nice if you want a supportive and minimal feeling upper, right? Obviously, if you want something, you know, a little bit more cozy, this isn't the best option, but for me, it was great. You know, especially if you're a guard, this is a great feeling upper. And also for the quality, especially for 120 bucks, it's actually not that bad. You know, it feels pretty nice. I guess the synthetic materials that's, you know, here in the heel and also here on the tongue, it's not the best, but overall, where you feel the actual material, which is like here in the forefoot, and also for the lining here in the ankle area, it feels pretty nice. So the overall material, I'm not mad at all. And moving on to the fit, I went up half a size, and I suggest most people do the same because this shoe is freaking annoying to put on sometimes, right? So also another thing about the boom insole is that there's this crazy texture to it. You know what I mean? They put like microscopic kind of grooves into it, so it really grabs your sock, right? So if you go true to size, this shoe is gonna be, first of all, pretty hard to put on, and second, your sock is gonna grab onto this insole. It's gonna scrunch up underneath your foot. It's gonna be kind of annoying. It reminds you a lot of, you know, like drop-in midsoles. Like in the Kobe 9s, it would grab your sock. Kobe 11, like the 808s, the serious player only player ones, you know. All of those, you know, it reminds you of that, which I really like for lockdown, but just be careful for the fit, right? But anyways, yeah, so as far as the fit goes, it is a little bit long, but like I said, I feel like if I went true to size, it would be a little too tight, and also because of the insole, it would be annoying, you know? Also here in the toe box, it is pretty dang snug, which I do like, and also width-wise, it is slightly narrow, so it's a very nice fitting shoe for me because I did go up half a size. And like I said, most people, I feel like you should do the same as well. If you have a wide foot, probably go up a full size, right? But if you want a super duper snug fit, maybe go true to size, but like I said, be careful with that. But now moving on to the support and lockdown, I'm good to go. So here in the forefoot for lateral containment, I'm good to go. We have this plastic piece, right? This little plastic piece coming from the forefoot all the way here into the heel, and also it kind of widens in the middle, forming like this eyeball, and also acting as a sidewall here in the midfoot, right? So in the forefoot, you're kind of covered, right? And like I said, this material is supportive. Midfoot, you're good to go, and also you have the synthetic material as well, adding for a little bit more support. And here in the heel, we have a very stiff internal TPU heel console. Lateral containment, you're gonna be good to go, and I feel like even if you're a bigger dude, you should be fine, right? Also, lateral stability, you're good to go, right? We have a very wide base here in the forefoot, so I didn't feel laterally unstable or anything. And as far as the ankle support goes, it's not the best. It's not as bad as the AE1s though. The AE1 is a very thin material, right? But this material with the synthetic is a little bit stiffer, so it goes over your ankle bone and it restricts your ankle movement a little bit, adding for a little bit more ankle support. So overall support and lockdown was really good. And like I said, because of that insole and because of how good it grabs your sock and foot, it really keeps your foot in place when you're playing in the shoe, which I really liked. So yeah, but like I said, it's also kind of annoying when you're putting on the shoe, right? So there's that. Moving on to the weight of the shoe, the Shadow 5, if I remember correctly, was around average weight, right? Yeah, 12.55 ounces. Let's check the other shoe. 12.55 ounces on the dot. So yeah, the average weight of my shoes is 12.5 ounces. So yeah, it's average weight. And yeah, it felt very average weight. It didn't feel super light, and it also didn't feel super heavy, which of course is a good thing. Weight distribution also is really good. It's not bottom heavy or anything. And also I felt pretty dang quick when I was playing it, especially on a clean court. Traction was really good, cushion was overall very responsive, but also super comfortable at the same time. It wasn't too soft or mushy or anything like that. Upper is super duper minimal, so I really like that. And also it just felt so good for lockdown, right? This shoe was really good for lockdown because of that boom insole, and also like I said, the fit was good for me too. And I did touch on the ventilation and material, but overall ventilation is really good, right? So there's not a whole lot of airflow through this material, right? The textile, but it's a super thin material, so it doesn't keep heat in that much. And also through this mesh material for the tongue, we have a good amount of airflow. So overall ventilation is pretty dang good. And as far as the aesthetics go, I really like it. You know, this colorway looks absolutely amazing. Not a huge fan of this eyeball thing here in the middle, right? But other than that, I do like the overall silhouette of the shoe. So tell us what you guys think of the aesthetics down in the comment section below. So wrapping things up, yeah, overall it's a really solid performer. The shadows have been really nice, and the Shadow 5 is also a very nice performer, especially for the price, 120 bucks. You're getting really good cushioning tech, you know what I mean? The Cloud Plus is soft, especially with the soft mesh strobe board, and you have the boom insole. Great lockdown, and for 120 bucks, you know, Chinese companies usually give us really good cushioning tech, you know what I mean? Obviously it's not premium, it's not full length boom, but Cloud Plus is still pretty dang nice. And if it was a Nike, you know, or Adidas giving us, you know, $120 shoe, the cushion wouldn't be nearly as nice, right? Material quality is still great, performs very well. So yeah, if you're a guard, I definitely feel like you will enjoy the shoe. However, like I said, the court feel isn't the best, so just be careful on that. But overall, I still feel like most guards will enjoy the shoe. Also, if you're a bigger dude, you should be fine. You know, you have pretty much a high top design, you have very good support, very good lockdown. Cushion is also really good too. So if you're a big dude, you will also enjoy playing in the shoe. So most play styles and also most positions, I feel like will enjoy playing in the shoe as I have. So there is one thing that I wish would be a little bit better though, obviously, is the traction on dust, but like I said, it wasn't terrible. So anyways, there's that. That about concludes my performance review of the Shadow 5. Again, if you guys do want to cop it, try to leave them a feeling in the description box, but that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.